So first week we have access to the first rows, the first 2 here. Gift of the Titans, we have insta. You started with Gift of the Titans. You don't have to put points in it. It's included from start. So Gift of the Titans, how it works is that it's proc based. Once you proc it, you get a badass Bloodlust, which is super good. But that's not it. You also get immunity to all sanity inside the vision. So basically you can go all in for 20 seconds and don't think about that you're standing on something, you're gonna get hit by something. You know, this one, when you enter the vision, you will see this one on your hotbar. So what this one does is that it summons an orb in front on you, and that gives you sanity back. You have 3 of them in total. What it also does is that it can rest people as well, if you're playing with other people. What it also does, you're gonna have Soidormi with you to fight with you. If she's still alive and you are dead, she will use one of these and rest you. That's the things it will do. Then we have like different rows here, right? But if you look at downwards, it looks more or less the same, each row downwards here. And they are the same. It's just that they get updated. If you start on this one here, on the left side, it says reduce damage taken and increase damage done by 5%. Each ally within 100 yards reduce the amount by 1%. So this is about damage and survival, this side here. The middle side is about the sanity. Reduce sanity from visions. And the further down you go, you reduce more and more sanity. And one to the right here is also about sanity. But this one gives you more sanity from start. This gives you 50. This gives you up to 100 instead. This gives you up to 150 instead. And then the last ones here is the big boy ones once you have unlocked these 3. So unlock 3 here, then you have access to this one. Losing sanity or health will revive instantly and give you 500 sanity and full health. So basically if you die, it's a sheet death thingy. If you die, it will rest you and you start with 500 sanity. Well, you gain 500 sanity back. If you unlock this one and go further down, it reduces sanity and horrific vision by 40%. If you go this one all the way down, the first revival you perform on an ally costs no sanity. So those are how those work. But in general, think like this. If you start playing 3 weeks later or playing on all 3 weeks later, put sanity first. Put the middle row first, then the right row, then the left row. The left row, well, except until you come down there. But the left row is all about damage and defense. Damage and defense, I mean, that's what your character is all about. Like, you focus on your character, make sure that you can do damage and defense. If you need the left row to be able to do more damage and defense, figure out another way to fix that and put points here first. Because it's all about the sanity, it's all about controlling the sanity. So that's the middle row, then the right row, and then in the end the left row. But I mean, before that, it doesn't matter because you don't have access to all this. But when you put points, always start with the middle one and the right one, so you get some sanity back. This is how it looks when you enter. Very similar, but a little bit different. One different thing is that instead of 5 masks on these shares or whatever it is, it's 8 masks. We're gonna come there soon. Another thing is this time thingy here. This time thingy here, you activate on your first run that you're gonna do. You gotta get introduced to this. So Soidormi will be with you. She will fight with you. You can choose that she can either be tanking shit, or just damage shit, or just be passive and heal you. When she's passive and heal you, she does like no damage at all. She's just like in the background. Or you can choose not to have her. There comes a question about, okay, which one should you pick? What should you do? Based on which one you pick here, the numbers inside the vision will differ. If you pick one of these, the health will go up on the mobs inside the delve. I have an article about it, exact numbers. So if you take, for example, Protect Me, then the health on those mobs will go up much more. If you take Heal Me, the numbers of the health will go up the least. If you take extra damage, the numbers go up almost as Protect Me. If you don't pick her, then there won't be any buffs on health on the mobs inside. So think of it as having Soidormi would be as having another player with you inside. Then comes the question, is Soidormi better than a player? Well, of course, it depends which player. But in general, not, right? So should you have Soidormi with you? Well, then comes to this. If you are a person that's gonna have a hard time inside vision, then yes, you need Soidormi. Because if you die, she can rest you. That's the thing. You have the sheet death we talked about, but let's say that you fucked up the sheet death and then you died again. If Soidormi's there, she will rest you. You will still be in the fight. But then comes a little twist in that. She has to be alive to be able to rest you. So if she dies before you, she won't rest you. So if you take a look at all these and what I said, Protect Me and extra damage equals that she will most likely die before you die. If it's the heal one, you will most likely die before she dies. Because you're the one that's going to do damage, you're the one that's going to take all the aggro. She's just going to be passive, just healing you. So if you want someone to actually rest you and you think you're going to fuck up, definitely take heal. Not only is she going to heal you from time to time, she's also going to rest you if you die. But if you take Protect Me or extra damage, 9 out of 10 times, Soidormi will die before you. So that extra rest is gone. They did boost them up some builds ago. Before that build, all of them were really crap. But now I would say Heal Me is the best one. Because first, the number the percentage of health on the mobs is on the minimum compared to protect me and extra damage. Number 2, she's just passive. She won't like pull shit like fucking Bran in a delve, like protect me and extra damage. Protect me and extra damage, they're gonna pull shit that you don't want them to pull even. But heal me, she's gonna be passive, so that's also a plus. And the third one, that you will die before she dies, so she will rest you. The heal gives you 5% stamina. And then based on what class you are, attack power, 5%. If you do protect me, extra damage, also attack power. All right, that's a sand thingy. Before you hop in, you can choose what you want her to do. Then we have these 4 health bar looking things, right? With percentage on. Those are the big boys. Those are the ones you're gonna farm. Because they give you massive buffs that you want. It starts on 0%, it starts on level 1. You see, mine is current level 3. So you have to level up several times. You have to fill the bar up several times. Killing mobs will increase one of them, percentage. Killing mini bosses will increase another percent. Killing bosses will increase another percent. This one is called experimental destabilization. That is this one. Different ranks of it that you will fill up will give you damage done increased percentage when you're inside the vision. Empower distributed by killing bosses in Orgrimmar. If you want this buff and go all the way up to 12%, it's about killing the bosses inside. If you go to the next one, further empower distributed by killing the Zoth minions in Orgrimmar. One is the mobs, just random mobs. The name of this is the Vision Hunter. When in Vision, killing an enemy grants 3% increased movement speed and haste for 60 seconds. Stack up to 5 times. So there's also a big boy buff that you definitely want to get up when you're gonna go into Vision. And then you have the one over here, killing the Zoth elite minions in Orgrimmar. Defeating an elite restores 150 sanity. And this one changes based on like what rank you are. It starts on 50 sanity back, then 100, then 150. And this one is really good. Everything that has to do with like gaining sanity, that's what you want to go for. And then you have the last one, which is the Tribute of Clear Sight. Collecting potions and crystals. This one took me the longest time, because this one wants you to literally click on the potions inside the delve, and there are certain crystals that gives you currency and shit. But I think if you just focus on it from start, it's gonna go up pretty fast. I didn't focus on it so much from start, that's why that took the longest time for me. The clear sight was just to get access to more potions and more chests and shit inside it. So the first one unlocks more shit here that you can loot. The second one unlocks from these two. And the third one unlocks from the hardest ones, the hardest zones. So you get more access to it. All right, all stuff we all know about. Most of you guys already know about this, so we're not gonna talk so much about it. When you enter this one, the first zone drains sanity the least. The second 2 zones, which is this one and that one, when you enter there, it will drain more sanity. And then the hardest 2 zones, which are these ones, will drain most sanity. You can see also the image, like more fucking tentacles there. Except for sanity, it also have affixes when you enter them. And those affixes rotates. It's not always the same when you enter. So sometimes you can be lucky with affixes, sometimes you can be unlucky with affixes. The affixes are when you're here, that there is a vision that looks like you, and that will go towards you, and if it touches you, you get stunned. When it comes to the harder ones, one affix is that it will fear you. It's gonna put like a pool on the ground, and if you're still on it, it will fear you. You'll be surrounded by minions around you that looks like you. If you touch them, you get stunned and shit. You get dazed, and that can fuck you up because, you know, a lot of shit's gonna happen. Another one, which is hard one, is that the more you move in combat, the slower you get, up to 10 stacks. Okay, so we have 8 masks now instead of 5. The 8 masks. First one is Mask of the Burned Bridge. When moving, you spawn void zones behind you that drain sanity. That one's very annoying. It will spawn pools behind you when you walk. Those pools, if you stand on it, it drains your sanity. After a couple of seconds, the pool despawns as well. So it's not always there forever. But it's there for a while though. The second one is Mask of the Daredevil. Increase sanity damage from creatures by 400%. So all damage you get from visions, more or less, will drain sanity. There are some ones that drains quite a lot of sanity. Casters, they're the worst fucking ones. This mask does so you get even fucking more sanity when you get damage from it. Sanity reduction. Third one, Mask of Dark Imagination. While above 50% of maximum sanity, occasionally summon enemies from the void. Also a very annoying one. So as soon as your bar here is on half or more, a mob will spawn. A big fucking mob will spawn. This mob is very annoying. Not only that it does melee damage on you, it also shoots stuff on the ground where you're standing, so you have to move away. So why is that annoying? Well, because there's a lot of shit in the vision where you always have to move away. You always have to think of where do you stand, where do you have to go. So spawning this one will just make it worse. Where do you have to stand, where do you have to go? And it can spawn anytime. If you pull like a big group or even small mobs, whatever, it can just spawn in combat as well. Okay, then we have Mask of the Long Night. Mask of the Long Night cuts this by half directly, even before you start. You start at 1000 sanity if you don't have any like talent buffs or something like that, then it's 1000 sanity. It will cut it to 500. So you will enter and do a vision with 500 less from start. And that is the first mask you get. Imagine that. They fuck you up directly. Mask of the Pained. Renders the wearer prone to additional simultaneous madness. If you understand this one correct, how it was, is that the stuff that can happen in visions, it does so to get like double of them. But I'm not sure. I think so. The 5 first ones we just said has always been in the game. Now the 3 last ones. Mask of Multitudes. Oh shit, dude. That is one of the worst ones. Mask of Multitudes means that you will have more mobs inside a vision. So if you see a group of 3 that you normally used to, suddenly that group is 5, maybe 6. But based on where you are in the vision, it can be just a caster or it can be a fucking big elite. It differs, right, where you are. Multitudes, since this is new to a vision that has already been in the game, they haven't thought through multitude, because there are parts of the vision when you pull one group, other groups will get pulled simultaneously just because they're too close, just because they've added too many mobs there now and too many mobs there now. So if you pull this group, those get pulled. Now we had a couple of those in the visions. We have bug reported quite a lot of those. They have fixed quite a lot of those, but there's still some left. There's one in Orgrimmar that is left on the hardest zone. There's one in Stormwind that is left on the hardest zone. And yesterday when we did it, those are still there. So Multitudes is more fucking mob. Then we have Mask of the Nemesis. Mask of the Nemesis is for each 25 enemies you kill, a big boy mob will spawn. In Orgrimmar, the big boy mob is Gammon. In Stormwind, the big boy mob is Hogger. They will stun you, they will fuck you up, they will rush at you if you try to move away. I would say the stun is the most annoying. The Gammon is one that stuns in Orgrimmar. And like I said before, everything is about movement, everything is about like where you are, how you fight, right? And if you have this Gammon spawning after you kill 25 mobs, and then you're on a big group fighting, and it's not about movements, and suddenly that fucking dude stuns you, man, you're fucked. So basically, when you have Nemesis mask up, the good thing about it is that when the Nemesis dies, so when Hogger or Gammon dies, you get 150 sanity back. And that is huge. You need it. The only thing I think about when you have the Nemesis mask is that you have to plan proper your fights. If up here it says, kill unit Nemesis spawn, it says 25 on mine, that will tick down the more mobs I kill. And of course, it's gonna be weak auras, easier to see, that's gonna, be on your fucking face so you don't forget it. So don't, for example, pull a group when you have maybe one Nemesis left to kill, one mob left to kill. Because then when you pull that group, Hogger will spawn in Stormwind, or Gammon will spawn here in Orgrimmar, and it's gonna make the fight much harder for you, right? So always plan accordingly based on how many mobs you have killed, so they don't spawn when you don't want them to spawn. More or less every mob in the game works, in the vision works. Okay, that's that one. And then we have the last one, Mask of the Vengeance. Kill enemies will bolster their nearby allies' damage by 15%. So this is a similar affix we got from M+, right? Back in the days. If you kill one mob, the one next to it will get buffed. In M+, it was health and damage. Here it's only damage on them, a damage buff. And of course, the more stacks they have, the bigger they get as well. That can be very tricky, so you also have to plan accordingly what you kill. Of course, everything is in groups, so some of them will get the buff quite a lot. But never forget, if you have Nemesis and you have Vengeance, if, let's say, Hogger spawns and you already pulled a group of like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 mobs, those 5, 6, 7 mobs will die before Hogger. What does that mean? That Hogger will be buffed as far. So always plan your path when you do these bigger, the more masks. So those are the ones. All food buffs, all shit you got back in the days worked first in the beginning of the PTR, and then some builds later, Blizzard decided to remove them, like this kebab and things that gives you sanity back when you eat. They decided it's not gonna work. So all that stuff doesn't work. Of course, like all the other buffs that you have normally in M+ or raids and whatnot, all that shit works here as well, of course. Like flask and pots and pans and shit. When it comes to rewards, we have Thrall here in the middle, and we have one mini boss from each of the 4 zones. Each of these 4 zones is each of these 4 mini bosses here. And when you kill them, they will give you a chest. Thrall, if you don't kill him, he'll give you a mini chest that just contains shit. If you kill him, he'll give you the final reward. The reward here is the main reward, based on how many mini bosses you have killed. So based on how much you have cleared here. A full clear is when you have killed a mini boss in one zone. That's a full clear of one zone. When you clear one zone, it will add up more rewards here. So the more you clear, the more reward. That's one of the factors that determines the rewards of this chest. The other factor is, of course, the masks. Each mask you do, each amount of mask you do, will give you different rewards here. When it comes to pets, toys probably as well, that are new in the game that came out for a level 1.5 patch, they come from these mini chests. So killing the mini bosses. And it's a proc chance that you can loot them. So basically, if you want stuff from here, you have to clear this shit. And then when you loot one of these chests, you can loot maybe a pet or a toy or whatnot, right? When it comes to gear, it's from this chest. When it comes to the currency, this memento thingy, it comes from all chests. And based on which chest you do, you get more. If you do like the hardest zone chest, you get more currency. The middle chest, less currency. The middle chest is based on how much you have done, right? So if you have cleared the whole thing, then you get quite a lot of currency from the middle chest. It's crests, valor stones, currency, gear. Those are the ones. Based on masks, these differs. Other type of crests, more valor stones, more mementos, better gear than veteran. Completing the different zones, you got chests from the bosses, right? From the mini bosses in each zone. They also drop this black blood residue from this quest. Black blood residue is the quest item you need to unlock this vendor and unlock access to borrowed power, the head enchant. You have to be able to loot 8 chests in total, which means you have to be able to kill end boss of each zone and loot, right? Then you get this black blood residue. Once you have 8 from this quest, you turn that shit in. Then you get to choose first one lesser enchant, one lesser head enchant. And these enchants are the ones we had used back in the days, right? We have the Void Ritual, Twisted Appendage, Gushing Wound, Infinite Star, Echoing Void, and Twilight Devastation. Not as powerful as back in the days, but they are there. They do damage. In general, a trinket does what? 2 to 3% of your damage, a general trinket. It does higher than that at least. Okay, now that said, the first quest you do to gather these blood thingies, you get lesser one, the lesser version of them. And then you also get access to the vendor once you do that, where you can like buy the other ones as well. So it doesn't matter which one you choose, because you can still buy one 500 only. And this works like a head enchant. Just take it out, boom, boom, now he has it. The lesser Twilight Devastation. The better one's called greater. So all these are lesser and greater. You get the greater, you do the quest again. Find black blood coagulate from the vision. You're gonna unlock the lesser and the greater on first week. You just have to do the visions a little bit over and over. It doesn't matter like if you do the same mask or not. You still get it on this. If you go and do one boss from the 2 are the zones the one that drops this, right? If you do one boss from them, you get this coagulate. And if you go in again with the same mask and do that same boss again, you get the coagulate again. So you can do it over and over again. So lesser enchant and greater enchant are available in first week.